The big news for this country over the weekend was the Prime Minister's Friday night declaration that he wouldn't be calling the election. Because of the focus on ex-tropical cyclone Alfred, Anthony Albanese said he'll wait until May. And that means we'll get a budget. I'll come to the storms and flooding and the ridiculous politicking and climate posturing over that in a moment. But the economy is the main game. The cost of living crisis, the housing crisis, the productivity drought, and a budget in structural deficit. These are the reasons that Labor delivering another budget is a worry. Sure, it means we'll get a fresh update on the country's economic future, deficits as far as the eye can see and debt soaring. We showed you last week how the income tax take had grown by 38% over the past 3 years. That's near enough to an extra $100 billion a year the federal government is taking directly from taxpayers. But the trouble is they're spending it all too, with federal spending up 30% over the same period. On top of all this, the Albanese Labor government has announced at least $30 billion in extra spending in just the past few weeks. And the coalition has matched most of that. And now we face an election campaign where Labor will throw more money around. And given they're stuck delivering a budget now, no doubt they'll throw caution to the wind and spend even more. They'll spin it as cost of living assistance, but it'll be more spending. It means you'll be stuck with higher taxes for longer, and your kids for that matter, higher inflation in the future too, higher interest rates. These are inevitable consequences of overspending by governments. Meanwhile, the waste and the rorts in the NDIS and other massive government programs continue without delivering improved services. Unions are given more power, so the economy becomes sluggish. Productivity is lagging, so we're getting poorer as a nation. Power prices and taxes are higher than our trading partners, so we're less competitive. Another 36,000 federal public servants are employed, mainly working from home, creating another drain on taxpayers. And now Albanese Labor will have one more budget to try to make more people dependent on government handouts as they try to buy more votes.
My government will continue to work on a strong economy. Our budget will represent the same responsible economic management that we've seen making a difference in getting that inflation down whilst providing support for people who really needed it during what are globally difficult economic times. Thanks very much.
Oh dear, this country needs economic repair and reform. A reckoning is coming eventually. But make no mistake, having a budget in the middle of this unofficial election campaign will only make the situation worse.